That means we're live over there. Hey, how's it going, Laura? Just getting myself set up here, making sure things are working. Hopefully they're working. Let's see. Do 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 do. Yep, looks like that's live. Okay. So hopefully. And not that one. I need that one. And there. And just in case. And how's everyone? How you doing today? uh oh darn. What was oops. We had there we go. Okay. I think I'm ready. Okay. Hey Fire Lemon, how's it going? Let me pull up my little leg thing here. Oops, sorry kitty. And I think now we wait. Oh, okay. Does she know about the change in times? Okay. Um, what we could probably do is once I'm done here, I could go live on my phone. That way we could open up some boxes and at least have a conversation with her. Hey Aaron, how are you? I won't be able to stay on too long, but yeah, I'll do that then. I plan on opening it. I can't do it on my computer because we don't get very many boxes. I think we get like 5 or 6. But I can happy to uh, um, once we go live, stop and then go live again and open up boxes so we can talk with her a little bit. Last night staying up to 10 was not good. Actually, past 10 by the time I got to bed. Oh, my back. Oh, well, have her contact me. I'm happy to talk with her. I'm home all day, every day. So is Tony. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Laura. Let's see. It's 7:01. Wonder. And I don't see her live yet. Do do do. Just waiting on the co-host. Do 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 do. Actually, let me also. QR code. And then I could do this here. Oh, where was this? Here. Ooh, I am way down, aren't I? Let me scoot myself up here a little bit more. There, that's a little bit better. Adjust myself while we're waiting. That way I can see what everybody else sees. And she's waiting for others. I wonder if she forgot 18 plus. Oh, there she is.
Thank you, Larry.
No problem.
Thank you, Larry.
How's it going? Now I need to
I don't know how
adjust.
to make. I don't know. I was like, oh, I got in there and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do the whole co-host thing. And I got Live Studio or whatever on my laptop, but I need to figure it out. Every time it wants me to download it, like it's a anyway. But I'm here, so
How's it going?
it's going. Let me just get this whole like invite thing going here.
Oh, I always forget about that
No, I
too.
don't want to do that. Yeah, let me
Let's see. I think the only person I have is Laura, if she's still here. It's not showing anybody. Oh, two. Oh.
Okay, I don't either. And I have to hit the pause button for a second here.
Let's see here.
I pop a mint in there.
Let's try that. Okay. Oh, Laura's here too. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anybody on my side, but that's okay. We are. I'm trying to hit. I'm trying to. You know me. I don't know how these stupid.
Yeah, it takes me a while. That's why I always go live a little bit earlier to try to. Am I okay? Are things working?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not always easy.
At that. I do. No, it's not. Well,
Laura would like me to pass you a note without the
doctor's office called
teacher, without the teacher knowing. Did you get her message?
Say that one more time.
I'm sorry. I was doing a joke. Laura asked if you got her message.
Yes, I did. I gave her a thumbs up. I did get it. Yes, I did. Thank you. And I've got Kim on. Hi, Kim. Okay, Kim, I need you to help me. Okay, yeah. Okay, hang on. Oh, I've got this thing. Okay, invite the live creator to a match. Okay, I don't know what that is. Hey, Kim. I just need to ignore that, right?
Yep. Or cancel or something. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, we're good. Okay. And I think we're cooking with Crisco, my friend.
Okay.
I do. I'm just going to send this off to a couple of people here really quickly.
Sure.
But in the meantime, I know that. So tonight we are talking about visiting our movement disorder specialists and getting ready for our appointments with our doctors.
Yes. MDS for short. Movement disorder specialists.
Yes. Okay. All right. I think I just sent that to her and him, and I'm just pushing some buttons here just really quickly.
Sure.
Okay. And in the meantime, so I'll let you start, Larry, while I'm poking buttons here.
Okay.
You're way better organized at
this. So let's see.
Actually, I need to practice. I need to go live a little bit more and practice. That's my problem. Is I'm okay talking in front of people and doing all that kind of stuff, right? It's just the whole what do you call it? It's like doing the buttons things, right? That's what gets me.
Yeah, that's depending on what they are. That's why I like Kim doing the mod stuff, because I don't do a whole lot with the phone itself, and she's really good at just taking care of things.
Ow. Can she be our mod? Both of our mods? Probably not. She has to be.
You can assign her as your mod, right? Too. Yeah, she could.
Oh lordy, how do I do that? Hey, Baxter.
She could tell you. I don't remember. Shocker! Breaking news. Larry doesn't remember.
Okay, Kim. If you would like to do that, feel free to, because I don't know how.
Yeah, she'll have to tell she'll have to tell you how to make her the mod, and then she can do some things. I don't remember all the things that she can do, but
Okay. Thank you, Baxter. Okay, so if I need to, let's see, can I click on Kim and make her something? Make moderator. Found it.
perfect.
Okay. All right, Kim, you are a moderator. I figured it out. Hey, Angie. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling all right in them pain pills out there. So, all right.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, we ready to get started on this topic tonight here, Larry?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. Getting ready for our appointments with our MDS. I got to get my notes out here.
That's why it's nice having two screens because I can have the email you sent on one screen and then you on the other. And
Yeah, true. Yeah, and I need to. Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of transitioning because I had, when I was working, I had my office in the
yeah,
basement, and it was great, and I had that all set up. I had this, and all this stuff set up and everything. But now I have somebody living in that room.
yeah,
um, but I haven't moved everything out yet.
mm.
So yeah, so but I'm actually sitting at a desk
Oh,
in my bedroom right now, so that I have made progress.
nice.
I've moved some of my stuff out of there. Yeah, I temporarily transitioned to a. This is sad, and totally off topic, but I temporarily transitioned to a. It was what do they call those? The sawhorses, the little things like this, like this, the sawhorses with a piece of plywood on the top, and I draped a tablecloth over it. That's where I have been working for the last 2 weeks in my basement. But I actually transitioned most of my stuff upstairs now.
Ooh,
So
nice.
we're doing better. But yeah, okay. So we were going to talk a little bit. We're going to start out tonight talking about preparing to go see our neurologist or our movement disorder specialist, right? Our Parkinson's doctor.
Hmm.
And we wanted to kind of talk about the first thing we wanted to talk about was why is that important? Why should we prepare for it? So, why do you prepare for yours, Larry?
Well, one of the things that they take into account is what we tell them because they're not with us all the time. So it's really important to write down. I have a hard time with just like a couple things, particularly with all my issues. But it's always important to sit down and write down symptoms and things that have been occurring, so they can take that into account when they talk with you, do their testing in the office, and then use that all to determine: do we increase meds, to reduce meds, do something different, or what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And, one of the reasons I like to do it is because when you get in front of that person, um, you don't have the best memory, right? And Baxter is saying that in her case, I only get to see her person every 6 to 9 months.
Wow.
Wow, so that's like once or twice a year. Yeah, so that totally makes sense, right? That because that's a long time of symptoms and things that
Mm-hmm.
have come in and out with your Parkinson's that you'd want to talk to them about. So that's a, yeah. Thanks, Baxter, for pointing that out. That's a great idea. I mean, a great reason for that. Um, Wanting to do that. And sometimes too, especially if you have other things going on. Oh, Angie said she just piped in and said it's 12 months for her right now. So yeah, that's once a year. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Do you want a quesadilla?
Um, and if you have other, um, I don't want to say issue, but if you have other underlying health things like diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever, right? Um, it's probably good to tie all that in as well and let them kind of, to give them kind of an overview of what's been happening over the last 6, 9, or 12 months.
Hmm. I don't really talk to my MDS about anything other than PD, and dystonia. And she never asks
Parkinson's.
about anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have anything. So that wouldn't
Okay.
cross, so that just,
I've got a laundry
but
list.
that wouldn't even cross my, yeah. I mean, so that doesn't cross my mind.
Mhm.
Right? Because, well, my thought is, what if you've been having some sort of something or something happening that's maybe been happening for the last, going on for 6 months, 3 to 6 months, and it doesn't really bother you or anything, but um, maybe your family doctor says, no, I'm okay with that, or maybe the neurologist does want to know about it. I don't, I guess it depends maybe on the doctor themselves, but
Yeah, I think I tried to tell
that
my
makes
MDS
sense.
once about something, and she was like, "We'll just let them handle that," and just brushed it off and um,
Yeah, yeah,
didn't seem to care.
yeah. I brought up stuff to my MDS, and he said, "No, that's not a Parkinson's thing." You know. So, and let's see, we got some comments here. Angie saying, talking about med changes. Well, and that makes sense. So, if you have other things going on, and you have other meds that you're taking, you should update all of your doctors about med changes. So that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I print off a med sheet
Um,
every time I go to a doctor and hand it to the nurse or whoever, and here's my list.
yeah, and that's what Angie's saying is absolutely and because of her epilepsy, her doctor, they definitely want to keep on top of that. Yeah, so that's another reason to have why it's important to do that. Um, and something that you and I talked about, Larry, was the difference between an in-person appointment and a telemed appointment as well. Because my doctor generally, I almost always do telemed, and my doctor, for example, he doesn't have me walk down the hallway. He doesn't have me do the
Mm.
touch thing or the, very infrequently. I think once or twice in the last 5 years has on telemed has he ever had me do anything like that. Um, but and maybe it's just because he doesn't feel he needs to. I don't know. Um, but hey, Lisa.
Yeah, most of the time I go
Um,
in person. This Friday will be the first time it's virtual, but not the first time, but
okay, yeah,
one of the rare times.
yeah. One of the rare. See, and I'm rare to go into the office. I go in I think I've seen my MDS once in the last 3 years. I go in
Now,
person if there's something I feel he needs to literally see me for.
yeah, we might have to switch to virtual because she's too far for me to drive to, and if Jess can't get time off, that'll be a problem. But
Yeah, yeah. So definitely good reasons to do that. So how do you? Let's talk a little bit about how you prepare for that because there's a lot of different ways and things and methods that people have to prepare. And I know
uh,
you and I have talked about it a little bit. We kind of have a different schools of thought.
yeah. So I sort of incorporate my horrible experience with doctors and neurologists when I go talk to my MDS. Um, I try to focus things on what I think she needs to know. Um, some things she can't do a whole lot about. So the dystonia in my hands, she's not really able to do a whole lot. Dystonia in my feet, not a whole lot about that. But I will let her know, hey, they're getting worse. Like this Friday, I was going over my notes. I think I need to shorten them down a little bit, but one of the things I'll tell her is started having dystonia in both feet for the first time at the exact same time, or
Mm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
trouble making dinner, things like that with both hands. Botox isn't, just sort of open up a little bit more about some things. But to me, if there's not really a whole lot they can do about it, it may not really be worth mentioning it, other than every so often, hey, this is getting worse, or maybe reminding her every so
Yeah.
often, I have these issues. What I really
Yeah.
do is focus
Makes
on my
sense.
primary care because she's the one that I take all my notes to and everything. And so she's the one that I actually sit down and I will spend 3 months in between appointments really fine tuning all my stuff for her to put in her notes. So,
Yeah. Hey, Laura. Laura's joined on my side. Thanks for joining in, Laura. Um, so yeah, so you use a combination of your MDS and your primary care to manage your care.
yeah,
Um,
because my MDS won't respond to messages, won't do anything, and if you need to talk to her, you got to make an appointment. So um, I use my, I mean, my primary care is busier than an MDS is, but I use her for everything, and she's happy to be whatever I need. She'll take care of it. Um,
Yeah. So we have a question over here on my side. Kim's asking, what about someone going in to see a new MDS for the very first time? What would we um, kind of, what are our thoughts on that one? Um,
what's
and I think that's,
You definitely
go
want to go
ahead.
into a little bit more detail, and you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kim's case is a little bit different, but you normally just want to write out
Mm-hmm.
timelines. Here's when this started. Here's when this started. Um, Here's how things have changed over that period of time. Because usually you don't see an MDS, depending on the individual. It may be a couple, 2 or 3 years maybe, before from onset until you go see them because you've got to go through different doctors and you do all these tests and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So
Yeah.
timelines are important.
Yeah. And it just depends. Because, like, I actually was one of those rare ones who was kind of fast tracked directly to an MDS. One neurologist, he looked at me, he listened to me, we did some stuff, and then he immediately referred me over to an MDS. So everyone is different. Hi, Susie. I don't know Susie. Susie, I don't think we've met. We're talking about Parkinson's tonight, and we're talking about preparing for an appointment to go see a Parkinson's doctor. So my thoughts, Kim, on that one for the first one is personally, I would refer you to either the Davis Finney Foundation or one of the foundations that has some tools available for you. Um, excuse me for that. Um, because going in for the first time, I know I can still remember my first visit, and that was you don't know what to ask, what questions. I mean, so like Larry has said, write down symptoms, kind of a timeline when they occur. Like, my tremor, my left hand tremors, and it only tremors at night, or things like that. Hey, PDY. Hey, welcome in. We're talking about preparing for your your a doctor's appointment, your Parkinson's doctor's appointment. But one of the things that Davis Finney has, and Kim, you and I can get offline, and I can help you with this, is they have some questionnaires that would help you think about what might like where you might start. And I'll just kind of give you a couple of examples here. What are your goals for this appointment? I mean, that's a really great place to start if if you're not sure where to start. List both current and most bothersome problems or symptoms, right? Larry has said that. Changes since the last visit, that Larry, you said that. Um, any other medical problems, etc., especially with a new doctor, right? They'll want to know that. Um, and then it goes into very specific things. There's some checklists here that can help you. Like, I know sometimes we have symptoms, but we don't necessarily have a particular symptom that is like bothersome all day long. So so it's not in the front. It's kind of maybe tucked back, or we see it. I don't know, like when it only rears its head when we're under stress or something like that, right? So there's some checklists here that can help you, and it walks you through the various things like speech and swallowing, bowel and bladder, cognitive, other, right? And the other may be things that you never thought about that maybe you're having problems with that you never thought about related to your Parkinson's. Vision, chills, joint pain, numbness, tingling, neck pain, right? Stuff like that.
I think the problem with some of those though is the neck pain because of lack of water? Is it some other things? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
It is. It is. But at least it's probably for the first time. I would think it's probably best to go in at least having something. And I would imagine too. I mean, I remember my first appointment. They did all kinds of the test thing, walk down the hall, all that. And then he asked me a ton of questions. I mean, he probably asked me I 10, 15 minutes, just like worth of questions um, on that. I have a couple of comments here I want to get to. Angie says my MDS has been great responding to messages. I made a point to tell me more than once than to tell me more than once to message. Oh, okay. So that's really great, Angie. You've got a very supportive doctor there. Um, Distracted Laura's in the house. Angie wants to know. Oh, we're asking about how's Angie's ankle. Um,
That's good, Tony.
so if there's
Tony's.
anybody on Larry's side who's wondering about how Angie's ankle is doing, pain has been very manageable. She said, best case. Oh, awesome. That's fantastic to
So
know
it looks
that.
like I have Laura, Eric, and Tony on this side.
Cool. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Thanks. Um, so we've talked a little bit about why we would do it, a little bit about maybe philosophies around it, but what about actual tools? I've mentioned that Davis Finney does have their worksheets that you can use. They have questions to help you think about it. They have like one of the forms is a writing prompt if that's more your style. They have one of the ones that I like is like a picture of the body. Here's my body, and it points to it, and it'll say like, "Hey, what are any cognitive issues that you're having?" And it gives you some things to think about, and it takes you through a picture of the body. Which, if you're a visual kind of cue person, that's a great way to do that. Um, what are some of the like tools or things that you use, Larry? Do you?
Well, one of them is Strive PD, but I primarily use that one for tremors to determine, since last saw the neurologist, is there increase or decrease or roughly the same or, so I think there's been a couple times where it's like, oh, hey, tremors increased quite a bit. And we increased our meds, and I came back next time and said, oh, they decreased quite a bit. Um,
Mhm.
I use Chat GPT lately quite a bit, so I'll write down sort of like just a normal daily thing because I get a lot of dystonia problems, and so I'll write down every day where dystonia hits, some other information, and I'll feed it to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, could you give me a summary for a doctor of what's here?" And it prints up the summary, and I'll go to Jess and say, "Does this look accurate? Correct?" Because I want to make sure that things are as accurate and correct as possible, and I don't have the best memory or anything. I have also today,
Cool idea.
because I can't find a good tracker. I went to ChatGPT today and I said, "Hey, dystonia is my worst. I get it all over the place. I can't find an app where I can customize specific symptoms. Like uh, cramp in right foot, cramp in left foot. Just certain specific things, and have my caregiver be able to contribute to it. What do you suggest?" And it said,
Oh.
"Oh," and it said, "Google, Google." Something. I forget what it was. And I said, "Oh, tell me more." And it wrote out this whole thing
Oh.
of code. And I was like, "Well, okay, I don't have that ability anymore. You need to give me step by step." And it literally gave me step by step, create a spreadsheet, 2 tabs, go to this other location through the menus, copy and paste this code, and do all this stuff. So now I can go on my phone, and so can Jess, to a URL and select whatever custom symptom that I want. The date's already populated, and we can select the severity and type in some notes and click save, and it populates a Google Sheet for us. And ChatGPT did it all and told me specific directions on how to do it and where to go. I was like, "This is
And
cool."
that was through, so it's a Google app, but the app kind of customized or Chat GPT customized the app for you. Did I understand that right?
Uh,
No.
I don't have my technical ability, so I don't know how to explain it. But essentially, you go into
That's okay.
you create a sheet, and there's like a menu item, and you go. It takes you somewhere else that essentially is like a web sort of app
Oh,
thing,
neat.
and it gives you the code and says create this page, and this is how you create the page. And so I found it quite
Okay,
simple.
you got to share that.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to share that. I was thinking, like, is that like under the Google Keep app or something? But so, huh?
Um,
Yeah, Yeah, you are gonna have to do a video on that one and kind of show us
App script.
and stuff. Too bad you can't share your screen.
I know. Well, I was going to,
App script.
but they removed all my stuff, so I
Hey Tony,
can't
hey
hide and
Eric.
show stuff.
Okay.
I know, Tony. But
App
that's what this
script.
can do now. Is Jess can I sent her the link so she can actually pull it up on her browser on her phone. Memory issues. Put in some notes and click save, and it puts it into a sheet for us. Um,
You have just invented something new, my friend. Thank you for
well,
the.
I didn't. ChatGPT
That's
did, but I
amazing.
love it because it was like, "Here,
Well,
do this,"
which
and I was like, "I don't understand what you're talking about. I need step by step what you want me to do," and it did it. And I was like, "This is cool. I
yeah.
don't need a brain anymore. I got ChatGPT."
Oh,
So,
I'm even lazier than that. I would be like, "Thanks for the instructions, dude. Can you do that for me?"
oh, I don't think it can.
I mean,
I
forget
don't
the
think it
step
can
by
do all that,
step.
but
But very. That's awesome. Yeah. So we got some folks that might, talk about on my side saying, "Yep, they're using ChatGPT," and um,
share Tony share the steps. Yeah, I'll
yeah, you need to make a.
video.
You got to
Yeah,
share that. You need to like make a
yeah,
video.
I'll do
Yeah,
a video.
100%. That is way cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Sweet. So I should some I know if you guys were on last night, we shared some of this last night. I recently gave up my Apple products and went to Android, and so I don't have the thing on the wrist anymore. The cool like Stride PD, which is amazing. But and Neuro RPM, which we talked about Neuro RPM last night, and Larry and I talked about this earlier today, and the fact that
Tony.
it, it requires a. What did you say?
I'm not gonna say it. She can jump onto your side and say
Okay. Okay. So Neuro RPM does require a prescription, but when you go into
actually it
their
doesn't.
website, it walks you through
Actually it
everything.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't anymore.
I uh,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know
I
if
may have
I'm
to.
just
I may have to say. I
special,
know.
but I went down to the form thing and I
Okay.
was like, hey, my MDS won't do this. I was thinking about having my PCP do it, but I want to make sure it doesn't cost her anything. And what's the cost for a PWP person with
Yeah.
Parkinson's? And I got an email back that said, you don't need that. Just do this step here, and I'll watch for you, and
Okay.
I'll do this. So I don't know if I was just special, a one off, or if they don't require it. I'm not sure, but
I don't. I don't. And honestly, I got in really, really early. I
mm,
got in on like the testing
mm,
beta, whatever, blah blah. But what I was going to say is, if you run into where it says it needs a prescription, and maybe your MDS is not super responsive or whatever, you can't just go to your primary care,
mm-hmm.
because that's what I did. I just went to my primary care. I explained to him, this is just part of the Parkinson's. It's easier for you to do this for me than it is for them, and they did it, and that was amazing. Um, Eric said something in here. I'm going to go back to something Eric said because this was with AI. He said he used Grok, GROK on X Open AI 2, like, and not number 2, like also. I don't know what that is, but Eric, you might have to do a video or something, or maybe do a live or yeah, something on that. I don't know what it is, but it sounds advanced and really cool. He's also used GPT, Chat GPT. So very cool, awesome. Um, Manual trackers, spreadsheets. If you're a spreadsheet person, it's kind of whatever you want to use, right?
Or
A
just
little,
a
a little,
notepad or
like a
something.
little pocket calendar. Yeah, a pocket calendar. I use my meds reminder app that I have has a thing built in where I can. I think it's like 5 different. I think it's 6 times a day or something that it goes off and it asks me, hey, just to record my symptoms. And I've set it up very custom to kind of what my symptoms are. And if I get a new symptom or something, I'll add it. And it's just a radio dial, and I just radio dial and a slide bar that says like 0 to 10, kind of how is it. If I need to, I can add notes as well, and then I can gather that data up at the end of whatever kind of a period I need to do it. It gives me charts and graphs and stuff as far as, hey, have you been taking your medicine, and how much, how many times this week did you have dystonia or whatever. So, but I have to feed it in. Um, so those are some things that you can do. Um, oh, talk a little bit about, like, because we only have so much time with them, right? Some of the folks on the chat have said, well, 6 months, 9 months, and even 12 months. And you wait 12 months to have maybe a 20-minute appointment if you're lucky.
Yeah, I'm surprised
So
at
how do
how
you
short they are.
prioritize a year's worth of Parkinson's stuff,
I
right?
that you would definitely have to do just the top symptoms, top five or something like that, and talk about them. Unless there's something big to get into. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So
but
so for those of you in the chat box, how do you prioritize your very, very precious limited time with that person?
what do
Angie
you,
says every appointment has been 45 minutes to an hour, but she only goes once a year, so that makes sense. I mean, that's cool.
Tony? I'm not sure what you mean by your problem is ignoring stuff when alarms go off. I'm not following.
Oh, I think I understand what she's
Okay.
saying. So, like on my meds tracker, where it's up to me, um, to input that data.
Mm,
So if I hit ignore or dismiss on my tracker because I'm busy doing something else, then it's not going to capture that data. So I think that's what her question is how do you not do that?
yeah, Tony says she goes every 3 months and her appointment is about an hour. I think mine's like 20, 30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, mine's about. I'm lucky. I get to see mine 4 times a year. More if I feel I need it, but I average 4 times a year, so I'm around at the 20 to 25 minute mark with mine. So that makes it, it works for me. But yeah, so how do you choose? What to prioritize?
That's
And
gonna be hard.
then
I couldn't imagine once a
one of
year.
yeah, yeah. One of the things that I do, um, from a priority is I go in and my guy has learned. Okay, and he'll start off with, okay, well, what do you have on your list, right? And I kind of just run down the list, and then that way he knows what I have, and he might have some of those as well, and so kind of together we kind of prioritize those. Because there have been times where he said, okay, well, let's start with this, and other times where he said, okay, well, where do you want to start?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
don't remember our appointments much. I think she has us start off with whatever we might have, and then at some point, if we're running too long, she'll cut us off and, well, no, let's just go out and do the whatever assessment that whatever it's called. um,
the walk down the hall assessment. I don't know
yeah.
what they call it either.
Well, and all the other, so it's uh, one of
Is
the things
that the
that
YARS or this whatever?
yeah, I'm
I
not
don't know what
sure.
it's called. Thanks, guys, for the likes.
She one thing I do like is she's very um, she wants to make sure nobody falls, so she's stand up and then she'll
Mm.
move the chair and she's like, look where the chair is and sit, because she doesn't want me to fall or anything.
Okay.
Um, so she tries to be, which is good. Because if she didn't say look and then sit, I probably would just sit and fall because my brain wouldn't think to look where the
Oh,
chair is.
interesting. So that's the difference between an in-person and a virtual, right? Is I really think once did I do any sort of anything like that on the virtual. Um, Angie
Tony
says she really
said,
likes her MDS. Yeah, she says, I think if it was her choice, she'd see me more often, but she's just so backed up. And Angie, I wonder if that has to do with because of where you live, and not there's just not a lot of, it's not like you have 10 MDSs in your neighborhood kind of thing.
Tony says she
That's
thinks
kind of the way it is up here in northern Colorado.
people get lost because they go in, the doctor says, "How's your meds working?" and then we're done.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Angie says, yeah, it's definitely where she lives because she's a little more rural. Um, one of the other things we talked about, Larry, was a care partner's role in all
Mm.
of this,
For me, care
right?
partner's role is very important,
Mm-hmm.
but
So tell us a little bit about that.
they can give a different perspective, particularly with memory issues and things like that, or thinking problems. Um, Sometimes it can get a little annoying because I might need a little bit to think, and she'll just sort of jump in. Uh, but I do like it because she can hear what the neurologist says. She can um, see the behavior of the neurologist. So, because sometimes I'll be like, well, this seemed like it was, this is the sort of attitude she has. And she's like, no, that wasn't the attitude. Or
Oh, yeah.
I think the neurologist said this. No, she didn't say that. This is what she said. And she can give a
Sure.
perspective, correct could argue sometimes if it's how correct, but give a good perspective of from her point of view what she sees and hears, things that we might have talked about, um, like the memory issues, thinking problems, and stuff like that, um, and
Yeah.
correct anything that I might say to try to help get the MDS correct information. So it's to me critical to have Jess there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Or a friend, or anyone, right? That can. We have a lot of single folks that we know. Um,
Mm,
so if you have somebody, anybody to be in the second set of ears, eyes and ears, kind of thing,
hmm
it is really good. And I'm the kind of person who I kind of walk away and internalize and ruminate and think about. And so 2 days later, I'll turn to my husband and say, "Now, what did he say about X, Y, and Z again? What's your memory on this?" Um, because I've been thinking about it, but I got to make sure have I been thinking about the right thing, or is my thinking stinking? Um, and Angie says she's gone by herself so far. Um, I think if I went by myself, I'd have to ask to record the conversation.
I go by myself to my primary care, but with her, I'm very, my primary care doesn't care how many pages I have. She is going to look at every little thing while I'm there. She will takes 3 to 6 months to see her. She doesn't care. Doesn't care how many appointments she has. She will spend 40 minutes with me if she needs to. But she will actually write, uh, on her computer what she's telling me, and then print it off and hand it to me, so I know what I'm supposed to do. Um, so having
Yeah.
Jess there is not as critical because then I could just come home and I hand it to Jess and say, here's what the doctor said," and she reads it.
Yeah, my primary care does the same thing. Yeah, he's got that little app on his phone, and the minute he walks in, we are recording. He is transcribing.
Oh, she's not recording, but she types out what she tells me that she wants me to do or whatever I need to, you know, um, uh,
Yeah.
what have it be.
Well, and my MDS unfortunately doesn't have. He has a portal system, but the portal system literally allows me to send him and I messages, and that's kind of sort of it. I mean, there's other things that it says that it can do that it doesn't, and one of them is I do not get a. Um, well, I take that back. I can get an aftercare summary or whatever, but it's not easy. So anyway, it's so we've got two folks over here. Angie and Bexter both say that they go by themselves. I'd be curious for if you guys are feel that at any point it would be helpful if you had somebody to go with you. Um,
Tony
maybe not today, but
says
maybe in the future.
Tony says her kids have to explain a visit multiple times for her to grasp the little things. Laugh
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah, to remember
Ritchie
those little
says
things.
make sure to show up observable. Do not medicate early to look good. Take meds exactly as normal. Right. Correct. And then don't not take the meds either. Some people have said, well, should I? just not take meds when I go? No, 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 no. Do your normal stuff so they can see how
Yeah.
you actually are. So that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm going to ask again. Would you read that comment from him one more time, please?
Make sure to show up observable. Do not medicate early. Do not look to look good. Take meds exactly as normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Angie, my MDS is the same. She says my MDS is typing notes right away, but very attentive. Mine is too. He is very yeah, and I like that because he doesn't have a like a talk to text kind of thing. So
And old, I can't read the cynical punk says their spouse needs to come help explain behavior.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on a dopamine agonist, and so my doctor likes it when my husband, because he'll always check in. Hey, what about what about the four S's? And he will ask my husband specifically.
Yeah, my MDS looks at Jess about my new pro and how's that stuff going? And she says, as a
Yeah,
reminder,
yeah,
bloop, 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 bloop. Any of those?
yeah, yeah. The four S's, right? Schmexing, slots, sugar, and shopping. So, yeah,
Yeah,
very
the
cool.
frozen face is definitely a hard thing to try to talk sometimes, and for people to understand. Old cynical punk
Yeah.
shopping,
Oh, yeah. I've not thought of that. I had
because
not
then if
thought
you
of
can't
that.
talk,
That is,
you're
that
like
is,
this, and no one can understand what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah, that totally makes sense. That's one thing I hadn't thought of. I mean, that's a very good point. I'm sorry. Now my brain is really, I'm like spinning on that thought because that's a very good point because I know sometimes when I'm on Zoom calls with folks, I've learned that it's okay to that there's not any expression. I mean, I'm looking at 10 faces with no expression, and it's that and that and I have had to, coming from the corporate world where that was, I was on those calls with people all day long, and then I get on a call with a bunch of people with Parkinson's, and then the masking. It's taken me some time to learn to be okay with the fact that there's no expression.
Tony says she'll take some
So,
sugar.
yeah, sweets, yeah, sugar sweets, whatever. But yeah, I had not thought of that. Yeah, that would actually be very hard, I guess, as an MDS, right? How can and then a lot of times there's the voice, um,
Hmm. Yeah,
soft voice, not a lot of inflection, etc.
yeah. My primary
Not a
care
lot
every
of
time I go to
expression.
her, I did the is it called loud? The voice thing, and
Like the
afterwards I had
like the
bought
big and loud
yeah I had bought
LSVT.
a CD to use at home, and I can't find it anymore. So my primary care is like, you need to find that because I guess she could tell voice wise, you need to
Oh,
train your voice again. Um, it's like I know I can't
right.
find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's so you and I kind of come from a similar background in work, and now we're not working anymore, and so we're not on those Zoom calls all the time, right? We're not.
Hmm.
We're not having. Our voices don't have that practice.
Well, I still would have problems
So I.
when I was working. They had I got them to give me a mic that was close to my mouth, so then they could hear me. That's also why I have this as close as I do.
Okay.
Left Dr. Richie says,
Yeah.
remember, silence equals consent. If you disagree or don't understand, say so. Yeah, I think the only
Okay.
issue in my case, though, is I think slowly. So, um, I mean, there's no a whole lot I can do about it. You know, she's talking, and it just takes me a while to sort of process and think, and then we get up and we leave, and it's like, did she say this? Was she talking about that? And it just takes time to sort of work its way through, which is another good reason why Jess is there, so she can sort of communicate and ask questions and say stuff and then retain it so I can ask her questions.
Yeah. Old Cynical Punk said that on her last appointment was on video and my face was frozen and I couldn't even talk at all.
Mm,
That would be
that'd be
that would
horrible.
be I can't imagine that'd be very frustrating. She said her husband had to explain everything. I was having new symptoms and was very angry. So yeah, that would be difficult.
Hmm. Definitely, I think would get people angry if you can't. New symptoms. How do I handle the symptoms? But then not being able to mention it has got to be really hard.
Articulate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very hard. She says that, but the doctor was great about it. So, um,
Tony says it's
yeah.
heartbreaking.
Angie says, I'm not afraid to let the. Oops, go ahead.
Tony says it's heartbreaking. And Laugh Dr. Richie says prioritize, ask it most important stuff first. Limited time.
Yeah, yeah, yep, absolutely. Um, yes, to maximize time. And on that, so I'll just say, Richie, we talked about that a little bit ago, and one of the things that I brought up that I do with my MDS is I come with the list, and I let him know, okay, here's my list, and he can help me prioritize. You know what maybe what he may know or see or as a priority. Um, People are saying about the portal. Yep, use your portal if you can or if you have it.
Sometimes, to me, what the MDS may think is a priority is not what is a priority. Um,
Hey, Eric. Yeah, I've noticed that too. But at the same time, oftentimes when he prioritizes it the conversation is very short. I don't know if that makes sense. So and I've just, maybe that's just my doctor, but I've learned that it's like, okay, well, okay, I really wanted to talk more about this other thing, but he'll jump to something else, but it's a brief conversation. So I guess you just have to know your doctor and find a balance. But what else did we have on our list, Larry? Did we have anything else on our list, or does anybody
uh,
have any questions? Or I mean, you guys have
Tony's
been great with the comments. We really appreciate it.
Tony says her advice is if your doctor's not meeting your needs, get rid of the doctor. Yes, Tony, but when you've been through so many doctors and cognitive challenges and issue, just to me, I don't have the energy anymore to bring video if possible. Visit is a snapshot. So Left Dr. Richie says bring a video if possible. Visit is a snapshot of time of a condition, always on move. Yes, but in my experience, every MDS except for the current one has ignored and dismissed all the videos I gave them. Like of tremors and things like that, they would ignore and dismiss it and go do other things. So I did bring to my current MDS the first time I met her a video of a tremor, and she noted, you know, I forget whatever it is. It's correct, Parkinson's tremor. I forget how she worded it. So I was glad I did that, but in my experience, that's not always um, something they'll look at.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear this
Yes.
clicking in the background? It's the dog chewing a bone. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Come on, sweetie.
But that's good. It left out, Richie. If your MDS will look at those, then definitely a good thing to do.
Um, yeah, I did have a video. I think I've shared one or two videos, and mine was an apathy video. It was about apathy. It was one I actually posted. It's out on TikTok. Thank you, Eric. I'm so sorry that you guys are hearing the clicking in the background. Probably they go, "What is happening?" And anyway, Yeah, I shared one that I had done about apathy because I was in the appointment with him and I was having a really hard time describing what I was what it was like for me and the severity of it. And so I just was like, you know what? Hold on. Do you want to watch a video? We were on, Zoom or whatever. So I held my phone up like this, for him to watch
Can you
it.
see it okay? Is that yeah.
But I'll tell you, it was. I would love to know actually what he thought about it. He didn't really say anything, but looks can say a lot, and he was pretty like okay, like so. Anyway, but
Tony says her
yeah.
doctor loves video evidence. He can see things that may not show in the office and that he's moving to Maryland.
Yeah. There have been, hey Laura, I know there have been a few times where I I've known people who have used videos not for the actual visit, but for like stuff if they have to if they're having something that's just really severe, and
Mm,
they have to send a like a request through the portal. If there's any way to attach a video that way, I've known people to do that just so that the doctor can get an idea of, hey, I don't see you for 3 months, but I'm really suffering here. You know,
my
what can
MDS
we
would say
do?
make
And
an
maybe it's
appointment.
just an adjustment of the medication. Yeah, yeah, or just an adjustment for the medication.
Nope, no adjustments. If you need an adjustment, you have to come in and make an appointment. Won't talk
Oh,
meds,
for
won't do
your
anything.
doctor.
Yep, won't talk meds, won't do anything unless you come in.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
so sorry. That's hard. So let's see. We got a couple comments here. Distracted Laura. Oh no, she's. I've done that. Old cynical punk. When my doctor saw me freeze, he was upset that it was so bad. Help me get on the issues. Yeah. So yeah, gang. We have to help Larry find a new doctor. Yeah. You know you don't want one, but we need to help you find a new doctor, my friend.
Good doctors are hard to find. I wish my primary care was at
They
MDS.
are. There you go. Let's just tell her to move to Florida or Colorado, and we'll get her trained up. So old cynical says, Larry, that's crazy. My doctor changes meds all the time.
Mm.
See, and my doctor has given me kind of the flexibility and the encouragement to be like, hey, you have Parkinson's. Things are going to change. They're going
So
to change hourly, and so if you need to shift a medicine a little bit,
no, she'll
shift your
let me do
medicine a
that.
little
So
bit.
she's very generous with meds and has no problems with like was having dystonia problems overnight. So I just went ahead and added half. And so when I saw her again, I said, "Hey, FYI, I did this overnight," and she was fine with that. She's fine if she gives me some leeway to
Okay,
sort of make some adjustments with the meds that I have. But if I need,
gotcha.
meds aren't working, uh, you know, whatever, then I have to go in and talk with her. She won't do messages or anything.
Hmm. Okay, so old cynical wants to know where you live.
Maryland. Uh,
So if there's anybody out there in Cyberland who can help Larry in the Maryland area, he doesn't want to switch,
message
but
me message me separately, and I'll give you the. I'm sure I've said it other places, but I always like to be careful with. Here's where I live.
yeah,
Broadcasting
no,
everything.
I get it. Uh, yeah, Baxter wants to know if you're close to Richmond, and you can answer that or
No.
get with her, but yeah, it's tough, and then there's people like Angie who live in an area where there's not a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm.
I live in an area where we have two. I don't see either one of those in my area. I travel 80 miles or something, 85 miles south into Denver, but again, I've
Well, my issue is I
I've seen
also
them
can't drive long
in
distances
person.
anymore. So Jess would have to take time off. So that's the other issue. and the
Yeah.
neurologists that are in town are no good. They were the
Mm.
ones that looked at me and said, "Oh, well, I don't see a tremor in your hand, so you don't have Parkinson's."
Yeah, that's tough. And we know other people out there who are going through that kind of stuff as well. That's just really tough.
Yes, you did, Tony. You really won the MDS lottery.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's not horrible. It's
Yes,
just
yes,
very
yes.
restrictive as to makes it hard.
We have we have the PD artist here, and she's speaking French in the chat, which
Uh-oh.
is wonderful. It's a beautiful language. I don't read it, and I'm not sure how to click the buttons to translate that. I don't know, Kim, if you're still on, if you can help us with that. Oh, she's on Vi. Now I understand the word Violab. I get that. She's laughing at us because we don't speak French. That's okay, but she's on Violab,
Ah,
which
Americans
is
don't
cool.
know French.
I yeah. So yeah, and so the management, that's a good point. I'll bring this up really quickly simply because I've been on Vialev before. But Kim doesn't see a button to translate. Okay. Thank you, Kim, for checking. Um, and Old Cynical is on Vialev as well. And so I'll say this, that when you're on Vialev, that is different. And so um, you may or may not be able to do virtual appointments. Now, I'm no longer on Vialev, but when I was, mine was so like I actually saw my MDS twice in person in 2025, and then I saw him another two times virtually. Um, but if you need to have the hardware, if you need to have um, any adjustments made to your dosing, you have to take that unit, right? Which I actually have mine sitting right here. So you actually have to take this guy into your doctor because they have a special code that they plug in here to change the dosage. Um, okay, so our PD artist, thank you. She has her husband has Parkinson's
Mm. No,
for 18 years. Wow, that's a long time. Bless you. You're a caregiver. We love you.
we
Um,
love caregivers. Not
mhm.
enough thanks will ever be given to a caregiver.
Yes, it won't. Nope, it won't. And Old Cynical said that I guess you're not on the pump anymore. It was good, but I wanted something different. I just boxed up all my Violab stuff. I'm curious what you did with your Violab stuff. Um, I loved it. It worked well for me, but then my body stopped responding. So, and it just stopped absorbing. And when you receive it subdermal, right? And if it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. Still in the closet. Okay, very good. PD artist said, "You're welcome," as we thanked her for her years of care for her husband. Yes, that's great. Millie joined. Hi, Millie. I don't think we've met before. We are a group of people with Parkinson's, chatting a little bit about our doctors. So, oh, Old Cynical has a wedding on Saturday. Congratulations. That's way cool. So, anyway, um, yeah, I I don't have anything else to say, Larry. We're at the top of the hour. Do you have anything?
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah. Unless if one of us drops, can we just continue with a live then, like a regular live?
Hmm.
Hi, Sue. Welcome in. I want to
Yeah,
Sue. I'm just gonna hit the pause button, Larry. I know I just said something, but I'm gonna hit the pause button because Sue joined, and I think Sue might be Laura's friend.
and I had told
So,
Laura
Sue,
that
if you
I
are
would
Laura's friend,
drop and start a live on just my phone because the computer I can't do more. But if you're gonna stay live, we could send everybody over to you. I don't know what your schedule is or
okay,
if
yeah,
you
I
can
can
do
stay
that.
live for a little bit.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I would uh,
Oh, okay.
stop and go live on my phone so we can get boxes open and talk with her and things like that.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Laura. I saw your note. Thank you very much. Um, okay, Old Cynical. Let's go back to your comments here. Remember, I asked about the pump and how. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I do remember that. I do remember that. So now you don't have to worry about it. right? It's a non-issue. You can wear whatever you want. No pump. And personally, I would have probably, knowing what I know now, I probably would have taken the pump off, just made it, but that probably would have been me. So anyway, okay. So Larry, I'm just gonna stay here, and Larry, you're gonna do your thing, right?
Yep, I'll stop everything and then I will